I've experienced private plane money, but the tiny problem? None of it was fucking mine. At different points in my life, I've ended up around people with some serious money, status, and power. Not because I secretly had any of those things. Fuck no. Sometimes the path there was basically 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon. I knew somebody who had access to somebody, and suddenly I'm on a private plane. I don't own a plane. I've never been able to afford a plane. I have absolutely no ability to make a plane appear. But look at me, I'm on the fucking plane. And that got me wondering if power actually has like a radius. Because when you get close enough to somebody else's power, you get to experience some of the options that come with it. Private planes, exotic cars, access, experiences that I could never create for myself. None of it was mine. I knew that. But while I was inside of that world, I still got to experience it. And here's the thing. Proximity to power, it's intoxicating. It's not just the plane. It's not just the cars or getting into places that you normally wouldn't. It's how you feel when you're around it. Honestly, you feel important, connected, like you're somehow part of that world, even though absolutely none of it fucking belongs to you. And I knew that. I was never confused about whose name was on the plane. But when you're inside the radius of somebody else's power, you still get to feel the effects of it. And I think that's the dangerous bit. Because experiencing power can feel a lot like having it. Years ago, somebody said something absolutely brutal about a very wealthy man. If he lost all of his money, would anybody even give him a cracker? Just the fucking cracker. And that has stuck with me for years. I have never forgotten those words. Because I always thought it was a relatively interesting question. Take away the money, take away the power, take away the access. Do people still want you? Or do they want proximity to what you have? And now I'm realizing there's another side to that question. What about the people standing close enough to benefit from it? Because I sure as shit never had the money. I didn't have the access. I didn't have the power. I had proximity to somebody who did. And while I was close enough, some of those options became my options. And that's a really strange kind of privilege. You can experience the benefits of power without actually possessing any of it. And maybe that's why I'm having such a hard time figuring out which options in my life were actually mine. Some were. Some came from being chosen. And some apparently came from 6 degrees of rich people. Maybe power isn't something you have or don't have. Maybe it has a radius. And sometimes you're just lucky enough to be standing inside of it. But again, here's the problem with borrowed options. You can't take them with you. I could sit my ass on the plane. I could enjoy the plane. I could absolutely pretend for those 3 hours that private aviation was like a lifestyle I'd come accustomed to. But I couldn't fly without them. So maybe sometimes I didn't have any power at all. I just had some really good proximity. And obviously I'm not landing this power plane anytime soon.